9 people, experienced hikers. They had camped in blizzards before. They had crossed frozen rivers. They knew how to survive. And then, one night in February 1959, they grabbed a knife and cut open their tent from the inside. No boots, no coats, some with no socks. They ran, barefoot, into -30-degree darkness. Every single one of them died, and for over 60 years, nobody could explain why. What you are about to hear is 100% real. No fiction, no exaggeration. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident, and it remains one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries on planet Earth. Stay with me, because this one gets under your skin. January 1959, Soviet Union, Ural Mountains. A group of 10 young hikers sets out on a ski expedition through one of Russia's most brutal winter landscapes. Their leader, Igor Dyatlov, 23 years old, calm, focused, a natural-born leader who had completed multiple difficult expeditions before. The rest of the team? Students, athletes, people who lived for this kind of challenge. Their target was a remote peak called Otorten, a grade 3 difficulty route, the highest difficulty level at the time. They were not beginners, they were not reckless. One member fell sick early in the trip and had to turn back. That decision saved his life. The other 9 pressed forward. Photos from those final days show them laughing around campfires, joking in the snow, full of energy. They had absolutely no idea what was waiting for them. February 1st, 1959. The group sets up camp on the slope of a mountain called Kholat Shakal. In the language of the local Mansi people, that name translates to Dead Mountain. Now here is the first thing that puzzles every expert who has studied this case. Dyatlov was experienced enough to know you camp low, in the trees, where the wind cannot reach you, where you stay warm, but he chose to camp high on an open slope. Exposed, vulnerable. Why? Nobody knows. That night, something happened. When search parties finally reached the camp weeks later, what they found made no sense. The tent was still standing, but it had been sliced open from the inside, in multiple places, like the people inside needed to escape right now. No time to unzip, no time to think. Inside the tent, their boots, their coats, their gear, their food, everything they needed to survive, left behind. The tracks in the snow showed they ran downhill toward the tree line, in socks, in bare feet, in a single layer of clothing, in -30-degree temperatures. The first 2 bodies were found at the edge of the forest, about a mile from the tent. Yuri and Yuri, barefoot, frozen solid. Their hands were blackened and burned. They had been desperately clawing at a fire with their bare hands, trying to stay alive. Further up the slope, Igor Dyatlov himself, frozen, his body facing back toward the tent. Like in his final moments, he was trying to crawl home. 2 more bodies were close by. And then, silence. The last 4 were missing. It took 3 months to find them. They were buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine not far from the others. And this is where the Dyatlov Pass incident stops being just a tragic story and becomes something that keeps investigators awake at night. 3 of the 4 bodies had catastrophic internal injuries, broken ribs, a fractured skull so severe it was almost certainly fatal on impact. One of the women, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue, her eyes, soft tissue just gone. But here is what makes this medically impossible to explain with a simple fall or fight. There was no external trauma, no bruising on the skin, no cuts, no scratches. The medical examiner said the force required to cause those injuries was equivalent to a car crash. Something had crushed them from the inside without leaving a single mark on their skin. How is that possible? Soviet investigators spent months on this case. They interviewed locals, they analyzed the scene, they ran tests, and their final, official conclusion: the hikers died due to an unknown compelling force. That was it. That was the answer from a government investigation. An unknown compelling force. The files were classified, sealed away, and the Soviet government moved on like it never happened. But here is what slipped through before the files were locked. Some of the victims' clothing tested positive for radioactive contamination, abnormally high levels, in the middle of a mountain range. Where that radiation came from, officially, was never explained. So, what actually happened? Here are the theories that serious researchers keep coming back to. Theory 1. Infrasound. Certain wind conditions in mountain passes can create infrasound, sound frequencies too low for humans to hear consciously, but your body feels it. Infrasound causes panic, paranoia, the overwhelming sense that something is watching you, that you need to run. 9 rational, experienced hikers suddenly bolting from their tent in blind terror. That fits. Theory 2. A slab avalanche. For decades this was dismissed. The slope was not steep enough. But in 2021, scientists used modern avalanche simulation software and found that a rare type of delayed slab avalanche was possible on that exact slope. It could explain the crushing injuries. It could explain why they ran, but it does not explain the radiation. Theory 3. Soviet military testing. The Ural region in 1959 was crawling with classified military activity. Some researchers believe a parachute mine, a weapon that detonates mid-air and sends out devastating shock waves, was tested nearby that night. Shock waves can destroy internal organs without leaving surface injuries. That explains the bodies in the ravine. The radiation? A classified payload. The cover-up? Obvious. And Theory 4. Some people look at all the evidence together. The missing eyes and tongue, the radiation, the impossible injuries, the government silence, the blind panic. And they say, no single explanation covers all of it. Something happened on Dead Mountain that night that does not fit neatly into any category we have. In 2019, 60 years after those 9 people died, Russia officially reopened the investigation. 2 years later, they announced their conclusion. Avalanche. Most experts in the field did not believe them. And honestly, can you blame them? Because here is what we come back to every single time. These were not lost tourists. These were not panicking beginners. These were 9 people who had trained for exactly this kind of environment. And something made them choose certain death in the frozen dark over whatever was inside that tent. Whatever they experienced in those final moments, the terror was worse than freezing, and we still do not know what it was. Dead Mountain kept its secret, and maybe it always will. If this story stayed with you, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and drop your theory in the comments. I want to know. What do you think happened that night? See you in the next one.